Back in September, I prepared and then presented a very sobering presentation on the service realignment plan that unfortunately at that time we were considering due to the significant lack of investment in our infrastructure. The passage of a comprehensive transportation funding bill in Pennsylvania has brought me before you again. And I am very pleased to present an outline of SEPTA's proposed capital plan moving forward. Okay, the plan approach. It's called catching up because that's what we have to do. After several years of being underinvesting in our infrastructure, we need to work hard to reduce SEPTA's $5 billion state of good repair backlog. And that's really the most important thing that we're doing with our proposed plan. We're going to model our efforts after our successful stimulus program, provide outreach to DBE firms, report on jobs created and retained, and create opportunities for various sizes and types of contractors. This program will address issues from the service realignment plan. It will replace rail vehicles, work on bridge timbers on 3 Media Elwyn viaducts, rehabilitate and replace several critical bridges, rehabilitate and replace many power substations, and work on track primarily on our trolley lines and the Norristown high-speed line. Okay, the work shown in this proposed plan is presented in phases. As more funding details and as our understanding of opportunities to leverage this funding become clear, we will determine the lengths of time necessary to carry out the various phases. But in general, somewhere between 5 and 10 years is what I believe it will take us to accomplish this work. We obviously have to work on our rail vehicle program. In our $5 billion backlog, $2 billion are vehicle issues. And one of the most pressing that we have is our AEM-7s and our lone ALP-44 electric locomotive on the railroad. By 2016, we become the only agency that still has these locomotives. And now we have a shot to not have them too long and be the sole person to have them. And another exciting development that we have, we're looking at bi-level coaches. We've seen incredible increase in ridership on the railroad. In the last 15 years, we've seen a 50% increase in ridership. If we continue with that kind of numbers and growth, we just can't do it with single-level cars. And we are looking to see if we can put bi-level coaches on our lines. We'll also be working in phase 2 to replace our trolleys, which is long overdue. And then the third phase of our vehicle program at this point is our 43-year-old replacement of our Silverliner 4 cars with the Silverliner 6. Those cars make up roughly 2/3 of our regional rail fleet. Bridges, things to note here in our bridge program, the 3 Media Elwyn viaducts that have poor timbers and really threaten that line in about 2 years. We will work to get those bridges having the timber work done before we have to take the lines out of service or have very severe speed restrictions. We'll also be working on a very aggressive program to replace the Crum Creek Viaduct, which we've explained is in very poor condition, an awful lot. We'll be looking to do that probably in a design-build approach. We also have work to restore service out to Wawa, and we'll be working on the Elwyn to Wawa bridges in phase 3. Phase 4, a bridge on the Norristown high-speed line over 69th Street, and then the Bridgeport Viaduct, a project that previously we did in the last year where we could only replace the timbers and not address the structure. Now we'll be able to do that. A lot of substations on the railroad. All over the place. This is an area that we have to greatly catch up with most of the infrastructure built between the late 20s and early 30s. Also our very important and critical static frequency converter system at Wayne Junction gets necessary work. Our city substations, many of them have not been overhauled in a long time. We need to make sure that our city system is also robust, and we're going to be working on the Clifton substation out in the Media Sharon Hill area. Interesting to note, that substation is actually out of service. Due to the conditions that we had, it went out, and when we have problems on that line, at times we've had to seek alternate means or run buses because we have so little power redundancy out there. Our railroad right-of-way power program will address critical catenary needs, structural needs, and a very, very important project for us is to work on replacing the catenary in the heart of our system between 30th and Arsenal interlocking and 30th and K. Those are just west of 30th Street. And we have also the Fox Chase catenary, the Wayne Yard catenary. Those are all projects that we'll be looking to advance. The track program as well, a lot of trolley work, both in the tunnel and out on the street we'll be working on, railroad bridge timbers, and a very heavy emphasis on the Norristown high-speed line that was also mentioned in the service realignment plan, where we had to cut back the length of the service to be able to keep what we had in good condition. The railroad right-of-way stabilization program, we show 5 different phases of that. If you look at that one picture on the right, you can see how when it rains I have to go to bed and cross my fingers. That slope's in very, very poor condition, and these are things that we've been holding together as best we can, and there's a number of locations on the railroad that will be addressing similar issues. Communications and signals. We will continue with our efforts to make sure that the system is safe. We will be working on our radio systems, signal systems, replacing critical interlockings, and also in an exciting way we'll be dealing with real-time information now. We believe we'll have the ability to kind of catch up with the information that we're able to provide to our customers. And that's all very exciting and in the communications and signals area. Our maintenance facilities, all kinds of needs that we've gotten behind on. You know, these are the things that people don't see, but our boilers, our washers, our steel wheel lifts, our wheel trimming machines, all of them need considerable work all over the system, and we'll be advancing that work in these 5 phases. Roofs. Another area that we've gotten behind on and that we're going to have to work hard on to catch up. They're all over the system, and it's a considerable amount of work. Station accessibility, we were really moving very, very fast until our capital funding dropped off, and now we're excited that we have the opportunity to work on station accessibility advancements. Again, Margaret Orthodox is already designed. That will be in our first phase. And then we'll work through 40th Street, Erie on the Broad Street, Snyder, Susquehanna, Dauphin. Transit systems, a lot of neglect in this area as well. We'll be working on the 69th Street West Terminal and then the concourse network. Some of you have seen that in the paper recently. That concourse network may come to SEPTA, at least the responsibility of maintaining it. We're going to be working to improve those concourses. Also some very busy and also tourist attractions, stations, 15th and 5th, very important on the Blue Line, and City Hall. This is, we'll be working on the design, but this is in phase 4. We're hoping to actually be able to do a very, very signature project at City Hall. Railroad stations, we have a lot of opportunities. We have over 150 stations, many of them in poor condition, and you can see the various locations that we have. Some of these were already ready to go. We're near completing the design phase of Exton and Levittown. Levittown is in very poor condition. The tunnel is underneath is dreadful. Those are the kind of things that we'll be working to attack. Seacane Station, where we recently purchased in previous years property, we'll be able to really do a great job on that station location. Also Jenkintown, not necessarily contemplating the structured parking that we did before, but at least getting in high-level platforms to address ADA. Another in the same vein as having bi-level coaches on the railroad is to look to be able to provide additional capacity on the railroad. Parking is another area, and what we're, obviously we're working on our hardcore infrastructure projects, but as we know people are coming to us in greater and greater numbers, we're going to be looking to be able to partner with communities and other funding agencies to provide additional parking at mostly railroad locations. And you can see here 69th Street, that's the end of the L, but Lansdale, Exton, and others, the end of the line there at restoring service and then putting in a considerable parking facility at Wawa, and potentially working at Noble Station on the R3, where the station is in very close proximity to Route 611, and it makes sense to make that kind of a large capacity parking area. So these are all areas that we'll be working with people. You know, as our money is available, these projects will move, I think, better if people work with us and partner with us to make them happen. It's very important to the communities that we serve. We've seen the incredible impacts that these have had both on our riders, our operators, and the communities that surround us, and we've gotten great fanfare for these projects. Next steps. Increased contract amounts for general engineering contracts. That was on this board for approval. We're working on staffing plans. We had cut down the size of our third-party capital management, construction management group. We'll be putting some of that back in place, but you know, by year 5, we're looking at a doubling of our capital program, and so we will have to add personnel, even though we're also working to bring in more third-party help. And so we've been working on staffing plans in the capital construction group, procurement, and other locations. We are awaiting revenue estimates from PennDOT, and that will allow us to flesh the plan out better. And obviously, all of this has to be approved. First, we will be amending this year's capital program for the amounts of money that come in prior to July, and then we will be working through the normal process of our capital program with public hearings and outreach. You know, all of this will move forward. But this is an extremely exciting time and a great opportunity, and this really is the type of transformative situation that will poise SEPTA for the future and really allow us to strengthen this 5-county region to grow and prosper. Thank you.